Hello everyone, good morning. How are you all? So yes, welcome back to this session. Today we are going to have the mixed questions from the science part. And yes, we have previous year paper 27th. And here's the first question on the screen. What is the first question? The first question is, insectivorous plants trap insects for dash. Now, since we are talking about plants, plants are of different categories, right? Different types are there. The type which we are discussing here is of insectivorous plants. Now, what are insectivorous plants? From the name itself, it is clear. What? Insect. These are the plants which are dependent on insects. Now, there must be some reason for depending on those insects. Now, what is that reason? Just think of a scenario. If there's a plant, if there's a plant which is on such a surface that there is lack of nitrogen here, what happens? We know that in soil also there are several products which are present, right? So Vikram is the first one to answer this, and that's totally correct. When soil actually lacks with the nitrogen, what happens? These particular plants, for example pitcher plant, or you can talk about any of the insectivorous plant, it will do what? It will trap the insect, and from that insect it will take out nitrogen. So please remember, if I'm talking about insectivorous plants, they are the plants which trap insects for the requirement of nitrogen, because the nitrogen is actually lacking in that particular area in the soil. So very good Vikram, totally correct. Insectivorous plants are the plants which trap insects for the nitrogen. Let's move forward to the next question. Next question is, food for the developing fetus is supplied by the dash. Now, we are talking about fetus. That means we are talking about a small baby just after the pregnancy condition. What happens? When this just after the fertilization process, what happens? There is this zygote that is formed, and slowly baby starts developing. Where? In this location, that is uterus. But the important thing is, when the baby is developing at this location, that is uterus, baby must be getting food from somewhere, right? Baby wants several type of nutrients, baby requires several type of, or in short I'll say food. So from where will that baby receive the food? So Akileshwar is the first one to answer this. Sir, it would be placenta. Vikram, your answer is pending. Can you answer this part? Question is, food for the developing fetus, that is we are talking about a small baby which is in the developing phase, in that 9 months duration for the humans, right? So here please remember, this placenta is actually that pipe like structure from where baby gets the food from the mother's body. That's why we say whatever mother is eating, that particular food enters into the body of fetus, that is the developing baby. So that's totally correct. No Vikram, ovary will not be the correct answer. The correct answer is going to be placenta. So I'm again telling you, when that particular process of fertilization takes place, where when the sperm fertilizes with the egg cell, this process is known as fertilization, and this forms zygote, right? From where baby starts developing, baby develops in the uterus part. But if baby needs food, it will get through placenta. Now you're talking about ovary, right? Let me tell you about ovary. From ovary, these egg cells are developing. So these egg cells which are there in the mother are actually coming from ovary. If I'll talk about sperm, these sperms come from where? In the male part we have testes. So from testes sperms come, and from this ovary egg cells actually come. But if I'm talking about the food, food is actually taken by this placenta. Okay, so let's move forward to the next question now. Which of the following digestive organs contains HCl acid? Now this question we have already discussed many times, right? But it is very important. Since it is important, repeatedly asked, so we must be aware of this answer. What is the correct answer? Which of the digestive organ contains HCl acid? So what is the correct answer here? Vikram, Akileshwar and everyone else who is there in the session, kindly start answering this part. Please, waiting for the answer. So Vikram is the first one to answer stomach, and that's absolutely correct. Akileshwar, totally correct, very good. If I talk about this part, that is digestive organs which is containing HCl. So in our body, we have stomach. And here in the stomach, we are aware of, we have HCl. Now this is HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. What it does? It helps in the digestion process. Now, whatever we are eating, there might be some microorganisms, right? It kills those microorganisms. Apart from that, the food which is coming into our body, we need to break them up, right? So breakdown of the food is also done by this HCl. Its pH value is around 1 point something, that is 1.2 or 1.9 you can talk about. Now, talking about the small intestine, this is the location where maximum digestion takes place. Maximum digestion of the food takes place at this location, that is small intestine. If I talk about this appendix, vermiform appendix, it is present on the location where large intestine and small intestine is actually meeting. Okay, so yes, small intestine is the location where maximum digestion takes place, and this HCl is produced where? In the stomach. And if someone asks you which is that particular cell from which HCl is generating, please remember this cell is coming from stomach, no doubt, but the cells from which it is coming out are oxyntic cells. They are oxyntic cells. All these questions are repeatedly asked, do not forget, right? So we are doing 360-degree postmortem over here. Let's move forward to the next question. Next we have, the motion of the wheels of a bike while moving on the road is an example of dash. So answer please. We have 4 options here. Let's see who can answer this part. My question is, I'm talking about bike. When we talk about bike, when it is moving, so at that time, what kind of motion is there? We have 4 options here. So Vikram, Akhileshwar, can you answer this part? Need answer from everyone. Yes, answer please. I guess I'm getting your comments quite later. So Akhileshwar, Vikram. Very good. So Akhileshwar is the first one to answer this. Akhileshwar is saying that it would be rotatory and translatory both. And that's true, Vikram. What's that? If I talk about rotatory, that means we are talking about this rotation part. And if I talk about this translatory, this means we are talking about this movement in the straight direction. Since we are talking about the wheels of bike, they are rotating also and they are moving in the straight direction also. So Gobinath has joined us and you are absolutely correct. Welcome here. Good noon, Gobinath. So here, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be rotatory and translatory. Now, one more question was there. If I talk about the motion of a butterfly, so can you answer this part? What will be the motion of butterfly? Gobinath, Vikram, Akhileshwar. Again, this question is also asked in CGL. So need this answer as well. And everyone who is there in the session, please like it and share it. Please, everyone. And yes, my question is from butterfly now. So what is the motion of butterfly? Is it oscillatory? Is it translatory, rotatory, vibratory, random? Very good, Gobinath. Absolutely correct. If I talk about the motion of a butterfly, that is actually a random motion because there is no such fixed direction of the butterfly. No? It's not that butterfly will move in the straight direction only. It has random motion. That's why we'll say that the motion of the butterfly is random, but the wheels of a bike will be in rotatory and translatory both. Okay, next question. RBCs are formed in the dash in adults. Where does this RBC form? So answer please. These RBCs are forming where? So Vikram, your answer was correct. But what about this question? RBCs are formed where? Is it blue bone marrow, red bone marrow, white bone marrow or black bone marrow? What is the correct answer here? Gobinath is going with B. And that's totally correct. See, when I talk about these particular RBCs, what are they? RBCs stand for red blood cells. Now these red blood cells, they are doing what in our body? RBCs work is actually, wings, they would be oscillatory because they are like this. But if I talk about the motion of the whole butterfly, it can move in any of the random direction, right? So at that time, you will say that for the whole butterfly, that would be random. But for the wings, you can talk about oscillatory. True. So there's a difference between both the equations. Great, Akhileshwar. Totally correct. Yes, so I was talking about red blood cell. It is helping in the oxygen transportation. That is, it helps in the transportation of the oxygen, first thing. Now, where it is formed? It is formed in bone marrow. It is formed in bone marrow. Now, obviously for CHSL or MTS, only bone marrow would be sufficient. But if you are going for other examinations as well, for example, you can talk about CPO or you can talk about CGL over there. Here, question can come on the next level where you have to tell, says, yes, red bone marrow is the location from where it is originating. Then, apart from this oxygen transportation bone marrow, one more thing is there. Where does it die? Please remember, it dies in the spleen. Where does it die? It dies in the spleen. All these questions are previously asked. Please do not forget. Now, it was helping in oxygen transportation, born in bone marrow, dies in spleen. One more thing, If someone asks you about this red blood cell, why the color of blood is red? Please remember, blood's color is red. Blood's color is red because of what? Because of the presence of hemoglobin. So because of the presence of hemoglobin, blood color is red. RBC is used for the oxygen transportation. It is formed in bone marrow and it dies in the spleen. Yes, that's why Abhijit is absolutely correct. That's why spleen is also known as graveyard of the RBC. I'll write here. This is again asked. One more question from the examination. Graveyard of RBC. Why we are saying it graveyard? Because RBCs are actually dying here, right? So we know about that particular graveyard location. Okay, so we have HR here. Hello HR, good morning, how are you? So okay, all these questions are discussed now. Let's move forward with the next question now. Next we have, before moving forward, let me tell you there's an exam for official application which is one-stop solution for all the government job aspirants. We have live paid courses with the test series, free subject-wise, topic-wise quiz with the report card, then job alert, admit card, examination date, all exam previous year PDFs with the solution, free all India scholarship test with the report card, topic-wise free live classes. We have everything including the current affairs daily, weekly, monthly. What do you have to do? Just go to Play Store, type Example over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just do the registration and start using it. Okay. So what is the escape velocity for the Earth? Now, I will be asking two questions here. First question is for CHSL part. Now, next question I will be asking for the CGL part, but before that I want this answer. And everyone who is there in the session, please like it and share it. Please, everyone. And I want the answer from everyone. Can you answer this part? My question is, what is the escape velocity for the Earth? So till the time you are giving me answer, let me tell you. If I talk about Earth, we have a location till where this gravitational force is acting, right? Gravitational pull is acting. Now, if we want to get out of this particular part, the minimum value that is required is known as escape velocity. That is the minimum velocity to escape the Earth. So HR is going with C, Vikram is going with C, Abhijit, Vikram is with A, that is 11.2, Akhileshwar is with A, okay. Who's left? Gobinath, Abhijit. Abhijit is with 11.2. And then Gobinath, what's your answer? Gobinath's answer is pending. Please remember, everyone, when we talk about the escape velocity of the Earth, so whenever there are rockets which are leaving this planet and reaching to moon or whatever planet it is, the minimum value which is required, that will be 11.2 kilometer per second. But this question was for CHSL because everyone knows about it. Now, if I'll talk about the escape velocity of the moon, escape velocity of the moon. Now, this I will keep in the evening session of CGL part. There I will be asking this question. So, this is for the CGL ones. So, yes, escape velocity for the moon is what? What is the escape velocity for the moon? So, answer please. Okay, Gobinath, totally correct. But what is the escape velocity for the moon now? For the moon. Need answer from everyone. All these questions are very, very important. We are going with 360-degree postmortem now because we have already taken all those basic classes. Now need to go on the next level. Since we are preparing for this CHSL, we must know about CGL as well. If you are going with CGL, you must get higher level of preparation. So yes, answer please. What is the escape velocity for the moon? Any guesses? Even your guesses will work, man. I've already told you, when you are wrong here, in the main examination, you will be correct. So Abhijit is the first one to answer this. Very good, Abhijit. Totally correct. If I talk about the escape velocity for the moon, that is 2.4 kilometer per second. So the minimum velocity required at that time would be 2.4 kilometer per second, right? Okay. So, yeah. So Abhijit has given the answer. And everyone else, please remember who were not aware of this part. Escape velocity for the moon is 2.4 kilometer per second and for the Earth, it is 11.2 kilometer per second. Both the things are very, very important. Let's move forward now. And everyone who's there in the session, please like the session and share it. Please, everyone. Okay, moving forward to the next question now. Polar orbit is at the height of what? Now, I will be telling about waiting for the answer, please. Polar orbit is at the height of what? Answer, please. Polar orbit is at the height of what? I guess everyone can answer this part now. Waiting. Vikram, Abhijit, Gobinath is going with D. That is 36,000. Gobinath is with D. Others. Akleshwar is going with B. Uh, Vikram I is saying 1,000 kilometer. Okay. Vikram is also going with 1,000. Then Abhijit is with B. That is 1,000. Okay. So, okay, Abhijit. Then Gobinath is with D. Akleshwar is with B. Okay. Let me tell you, if I talk about these polar satellites. Sorry, polar orbits. What is polar orbit? Polar orbit is that particular location where polar satellites actually keep on revolving there. Now, what are polar satellites? These are the satellites which are prepared for observing the Earth. What kind of observation? Here, you can talk about weather forecasting. For example, if I want to know what will be the weather of the Earth after 4 days, what will be the weather of Earth in the next week, you have seen your mobile phone applications. When you turn it on, you just check, okay, tomorrow it would be cloudy, tomorrow it would be rainy, so I'll not go for the trip tomorrow. We'll plan the trip day after tomorrow. All these things are done by which particular means? That is because of the presence of these polar satellites. Now, polar orbits, when we talk about these polar orbits, if this is Earth, then it is present around 1,000 kilometers. It may be 900 kilometers as well, around 1,000 kilometers. This is the orbit which is known as polar orbit. Now, what is this PSLV? So it is polar satellite. Please remember this part. Polar satellite launch vehicle. What is it? Polar satellite launch vehicle is the vehicle through which you are sending those rockets. It's very obvious. If you want to send those satellites, you cannot just directly throw like this. You need some rockets, right? So if you need to launch the rocket, you must be needing some vehicle. So that vehicle is known as PSLV. That is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, through which those particular satellites are sent. And if I talk about these polar satellites, they are at the height of 1,000 kilometers and they are helpful in the weather forecasting and all of those things which are needed for the Earth's observation. I guess all these points are clear. Now, if I talk about other satellites, what is the second satellite? Another satellite is also known as geostationary satellite. Geostationary satellite. Obviously, for this also we must be having some vehicle. If you would have watched that movie, I don't know how many of you watched. There was a movie, Mission Mangal. I guess it was something like that, Mangal Mission or Mission Mangal, Mission Mangal, I guess. So, how many of you watched that particular movie, in which Akshay Kumar was there, Vidya Balan was there? Have you watched this movie? In that we have listened these terms, GSLV, PSLV, where they were giving the example of that puri, how we are making that puri. Even after turning off the gas, then also we can actually cook puri. Have you seen that particular scene? There it was discussed which particular vehicle is to be used for sending that to the Mars and all. Anyone? Vikram, Gobinath, Akleshwar, Abhijit? If you would have watched there, you have listened to this name. So PSLV we have understood. Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle or Geostationary Satellite Launch Vehicle. From where we are launching it, it is asked in the examination. Please remember that location. Most of the satellites are launched from Sri Hari Kota. What's that? Sri Hari Kota is the location where maximum of these rockets are launched. Starting का देखा था सर, बस पूरा नहीं. Okay, no issues, but it was a good movie. There are many terms which you can relate with this physics part actually. Okay, so if you're not seen, no issues, but please remember this part. Now, geostationary satellites are at which location? So let me tell you, its range would be, its orbit is going to be at 36,000 kilometers, right? And where it is used? When you are watching these live matches, World Cup, T20 World Cups, IPLs, it is because of these particular satellites only. Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. That's totally correct, Abhijit. Absolutely correct. Okay. So, this we have discussed now. The correct answer is 1,000 kilometers. Next. Polar satellite will be most suitable for what? We have just discussed about it. I guess everyone can answer this part now. Yes, Vikram, Akleshwar, everyone. Can you answer this part? I guess everyone can answer now. We have just discussed about it. If I talk about these polar satellites, so they must be in the polar orbit. and we have discussed that range. It may be 800 kilometer, it may be 900 kilometer, it may be 1000 kilometer. So I'll write for you, it is 1000 kilometer. And I told you, it is helping in what? In Earth's observation. It is actually used for Earth's observation. So since we are talking about Earth's observation, this means we are talking about what? This means we are talking about weather forecasting. We can talk about all those things. So yes, Vikram, Gopinath, Akhileshwar, all of you are correct. Here, weather forecasting would be the correct answer. Okay. Next. In human body, cartilage is found where? Where do we find this cartilage? Answer please. Abhijit, Akhileshwar, Gopinath, Vikram, all of you were correct. Now my question is, where do we find this cartilage? Can you tell me? Answer please. Answer please. Akhileshwar is saying, sir, it would be B. That is nose. Vikram is also going with B. Abhijit, yeah. So all of you are correct. If I talk about this part, that is this nose part, or you can talk about this ear part, this ear, this nose part. If I talk about reproductive tract also, all those parts are made up of cartilage, right? So we have Albertson here. Hello, Albertson. Good afternoon. How are you? So yes, Gobinath is also going with B. That's totally correct. So apart from nose, where you will get it? You can talk about ear also, or even reproductive tract also. Now, the question may be, these particular cartilages are made up of which cell? So please remember, if I talk about the cells, the cell from which this cartilage is made is chondrocyte. It is chondrocyte. Next question can be, which is that particular protein which is present here? So the protein which is present here is chondrin. That is chondrin. So please remember this chondrocyte and this chondrin. It is asked in the examination again and again. So cartilage is found in nose also, ear also, reproductive tract also. From which cell it comes? It comes from chondrocyte. And if I talk about the protein which is present here, that is chondrin protein. Right? So we have done 360 postmortem over here. Next question is, in which of the following group animals bear no teeth? So is it peacock, ostrich, tortoise, owl, loris, crow, alligator, turtle, tortoise, or turtle, kiwi, cow? What is the correct answer here? Or for making this question easier, I'll write cow if you want. Now, waiting for the answer, please. Everyone. What is the correct answer here? Answer, please. In which of the following group animals bear no teeth? So Vikram is going with A, Akhileshwar is going with B. Okay. Others? And everyone who is there in the session, please like it and share it. Please do that so that we can have maximum candidates. All these questions are from the previous year part. So Albertson, your answer is pending. Gobinath is with A. Akhileshwar is going with B. Vikram is going with A. Okay. Abhijit is also with A. Maximum of you are going with A. Akhileshwar has changed the answer and it is A. Albertson is with B. Okay. See, if I talk about cow, do you know, if I talk about cow, just whenever cow is having its food, whether it is grass, whatever it is having, just have a look. It will have teeth on one of the end. That is, topmost part is having, it is having teeth, and the bottom part it is having the hard surface on which it is crushing that particular grass or whatever it is. So here, teeth is actually present in cow as well. Now, if I'll go with this particular part, that is alligator, we might have seen those crocodile type structures that are known as alligators. I guess everyone has seen that. If you have not seen, they have a face which is actually in this particular part. That is the structure, I'll say conical in shape. But yes, they are also bearing teeth. But if I'll go with the first part, that is peacock, ostrich, they are not going to have teeth. And hence, option number A would be correct over here. So yes, all of you were correct. That is option number A. Next. Kepler's second law is known as what? Kepler's second law is known as what? Is it law of... if I talk about crow, crow would be having beak. That's why I've actually changed that option. Right? Yeah. option elimination, that's true. If you have, for example, if I talk about Loris, I know maximum of you must be not be aware of that. So sometimes we can go for that option elimination round as well. So there are several things in which when we give the examination, now we must have elimination round, we must have all those particular tricks, so which we can actually click on the correct answer. So yes, here law of orbits, that is option number A. Albertson is with A, Akhleshwar is with A, Vikram is going with A. Gobinath has changed the answer. No, sorry, Gobinath has given answer, sir. It would be B. Just think of the Kepler laws. What were they? If I talk about Kepler's law, Kepler's, they are asking about second law, right? So Gobinath has said that it would be B, and others are saying, sir, it would be A. Let's understand. If I talk about Kepler's first law stated that all the planets actually revolve in an elliptical path, right? Where sun is at its focus. Now, since we are talking about this elliptical path, we are talking about orbits over here. So this was actually the first law. Now, if I talk about the second law, what was that? In the equal intervals, that is in the equal time, they are sweeping equal areas. This was second law. So second law was actually the law which was related to the areas. And the question was what? So here Gobinath was correct. Gobinath, very good. And others, no worries. Please remember, Kepler's second law is the one which is regarding the law of areas. So yes, first law is for the law of orbits. Second law is for the law of areas. Remember? And if I talk about the third law, that is the law of periods. So this is actually the third law of Kepler. So you must remember all the laws. Okay. So Kepler's second law is law of areas. No issues, Abhijit, no issues. I know. Now you will be correct for sure in the next time. Okay, cool. Let's move forward now. So we have next question here. Evaporation causes what? Now this is the question which I am keeping third time. The reason behind it is every time I receive the wrong answer. Now I'll tell you which one is the wrong. I guess this time everyone will be correct. And this is asked again and again. So I've kept this question for the third time in our session. In these 2 months, I've kept this question for the third time. Okay. So evaporation causes what? Is it cooling, heating effect, increase in weight, or increase in the density? Answer please. And yes, everyone who's there in the session right now, if you have not liked the session, please like it. And yes, please do not like twice. Once you like it twice, like will decrease. So everyone who has not liked it yet, please like it. Okay. And yes, please do it only once, not twice. You can go for 1, 3, 5 and so on. So okay, Vikram is with B, Gobinath is with A. Vikram is saying, sir, it would be heating effect, and Gobinath is saying, sir, it would be cooling. Others, can you answer this part? Akhleshwar, Abhijit, Albertson, your answers are pending. So we already have 2 of the options. One is with B, one is with A. Please, waiting for the answer. Don't come under pressure, man. If you would be wrong, no issues. But I want answer from everyone. Albertson is going with A. Very good. So we have two of the people with A option and one is with B. Avijit Singh is a little bit confused. No issues. Please remember, whenever we will talk about evaporation, we know na about evaporation. The best example can be whenever you wash clothes, you put it in the sunlight. Why? So that the water which is present on your cloth will evaporate. That is, slowly and slowly, your water, whatever is present in your cloth, will vaporize, right? So here, Newton's laws of cooling. Yeah, that's right. Newton's laws of cooling. So please remember, here, whenever evaporation is there, it always causes cooling. There is no such heating effect. Always remember, for the evaporation part, it will cause cooling. Okay. So yes, Albertson, got your answer. I guess I'm getting your comments quite late. Next question is, when heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 10 degrees centigrade, volume of a given volume of water will dash. Now, before asking the question, I want to explain this part. When we talk about the density of water, so density of water is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. You should remember this part. Density of water is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. But if I talk about volume, But if I'll talk about volume and if I'll check it with the graph, it is going to be minimum at 4 degrees centigrade. Now questions are asked in 2 or 3 ways. One question can be, when you are putting water in the freezer, after sweating we feel cool. Yeah, you can take that example as well. Okay, so yes, let's come back to our point. What I was saying, if I talk about a freezer, we are putting water in the freezer. Now, have you seen that? And never experiment with any other bottle. The best bottle would be this one. Just do one thing. Just fill this bottle till the neck. Till the neck, just fill this bottle. And why I'm saying this bottle, if you will use those bottles, which are your Milton or Pearl Pet, whatever it is, if that bursts na, your mother will just thrash you out tomorrow. So don't do experiment with that. Just do experiment with these bottles. What we can do, just fill these bottles till the neck and just cap it. Just screw it. Now what will happen? The bottle was full. You have kept it in the freezer. Now what is going to happen? This bottle will change the shape tomorrow. Why? Because water has actually expanded. What has happened? Water has actually expanded. You can experiment this. Now what is going to happen? This will happen because if I talk about the graph, just have a look. This is at the 4 degrees centigrade and this would be 0 degrees centigrade. This is the temperature. This is the temperature and this is the volume. Now once you have kept that water bottle when it was full, filled till the neck, let us assume that was around 4 degrees centigrade temperature. But when you took out that bottle, at that time what happened? The volume was actually expanding and at 0 degrees centigrade when it freezed, at that time what happened? The volume was going on the next level, and because of that when water was expanding, that's why the bottle can burst or it will change its shape. So yes, it is very important to understand this. Now you can answer my question. The question was, when heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 10 degrees centigrade, volume of the water will dash. So if I'll talk about the heating part, so first of all, it will do what? It will actually decrease and then it will increase. So what is your answer, everyone? Acha, Abhijit is saying sir, first increase, then decrease. Okay. From 0 to 10 degrees centigrade, the volume, what would be the change on volume? So need answer from everyone. So Albertson is going with C. Others, I've explained this part, so I want answer from everyone. Gobinath is going with D. Okay. When heated from 0 degrees centigrade to 10 degrees centigrade, first it will decrease, then it will increase, first it will increase, then decrease. What is the correct answer? So we have UPSC lover here. Hello, good afternoon. How are you? So yes, we have now confusion between C and D. I have just explained. Just think about it. What I've told you. I've told you when I'll draw the graph, this was the temperature part and this was the volume part. And what is asked? It is asked when we are decreasing the temperature, when we are increasing the temperature from 0 degree to 10 degrees centigrade. And I've shown you that graph as well. What was that? That was in such a manner that at 4 degrees centigrade, you can have a look. Just have a look. Simple logic. I'll use another pen. What is happening? First it is decreasing and it will be minimum here and then it will increase, right? So maximum of you, some of you are with C, some of you are with D. Vikram and UPSC lover, both of you are going with D and that's absolutely correct. If I'll go with option number D, what is going to happen? First of all, it is decreasing and then it is increasing. So that's why option number D is going to be the correct answer. I guess everyone has understood that fact. Water will be having maximum density at 4 degrees centigrade. But if I'll talk about volume, the graph is totally reverse. How was it? If I'll talk about the density graph, it is like this. But if I'll talk about the volume graph, it will be like this at 4 degree centigrade. So I guess this logic is clear, everyone. Please, in these type of questions, just have a look at the graph and just try to solve it. Okay, let's move forward to the next question. Next is, which of the following is not a vestigial organ in the human body? So what is that? Which is not a vestigial organ? Is it thymus gland, wisdom tooth, pharynx or thyroid gland? Let's see who can answer this part. Cool. And everyone who is there in the session, please like it and share it. Yes, yes, yes. Waiting for the answer, please. Answer, please. So Gobinath is going with A. Vikram is going with B. Gobinath is saying, sir, it would be B. Okay, Akhleshwar is going with D here. That is thyroid gland. Others, can you answer this part? So Abhijit is also with D now. Akhleshwar is with D. Gobinath is going with D, but Vikram is with B here. Okay. See, if I talk about this wisdom tooth, so first of all, we must be aware of what is this vestigial organ. Vestigial organs are those organs which are present within our body, but they are of no such use. For example, once we were apes, we had a tail, and that tail was not important for us. It was important till we were living on those particular trees and all. But since it is not important, we can say that that is a vestigial part. In the similar manner, if I talk about this wisdom tooth, it is which one? In English we call it aclydard, right? 28 teeth which are present here are okay, but 29, 30, 31, 32, the last one which comes after some particular age, that is of no importance. That's why we say that it would be vestigial organ. So wisdom tooth, appendix, tail are vestigial organs. Totally correct. Totally correct. So yes, wisdom tooth was of no importance. That's why we can say that it's vestigial. Now talking about thymus gland. What is that? Thymus gland is present in our body, which actually takes its maximum shape till we are 13 years of age. But as soon as we start growing, it actually decreases its size. Again, I'll say what happens if I talk about this thymus gland. Now, it is present in our body, gland, which takes its maximum shape when we are 13 years of age. After that, it starts decreasing. Now, again, it's of no use. In the similar way, if I talk about pharynx, where is it located? Here. But if I talk about thyroid gland, it is of extreme importance. Why? Because thyroid gland is the one from which we are getting thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine hormone. Now, how it is generated? Because of the presence of iodine within our body. If iodine will lack, we will face the issue that is known as goiter. This is asked in the examination. If there would be lack of iodine, what will be the issue? The issue will be goiter. So yes, here option number D, that is thyroid gland, is the correct answer, and that is not a vestigial organ. Cool. Let's move forward to the next question. Felis catus is the scientific name of dash. Felis catus is the scientific name of dash. Is it cat, dog, mouse, or porcupine? What is the correct answer? That's true. Acha, you skipped not part. Okay. So it happens actually in the examination. No issues. No issues, Vikram. But whenever you have a look at the question, now please have a look at that not part always, because if this comes in the practice, now it will be helpful. So Abhijit is saying, sir, it would be puppy. So Abhijit, is that puppy or cat that you have drawn? So Akhileshwar is going with A. Abhijit is with cat. Okay. So that's cat. Actually, I am unable to see that small structure. Okay. So Vikram is also with cat. Gobinath is also with cat. That's true. If I talk about this Felis catus, from the name itself, it is clear. From the name itself, it is clear we are talking about cat. So yes, Felis catus is actually the scientific name of cat. Right? Okay. So option number A was correct here. Next, which of the following causes more burn? Second time I'm asking this question. It is important. Yes, question is, which of the following causes more burn? So can you answer this part? Which of the following causes more burn? We had a logic. Remember, we were talking about latent heat. What is that? Latent heat, which we also call hidden heat. Now, if I talk about the latent heat of vaporization, so here, very good. So Akhileshwar, Abhijit, then Gobinath, Vikram, Vinod, Gobinath, absolutely, you all are correct. Here the correct answer is going to be steam. Why? Because of the presence of latent heat. If I'll talk about its value, the value for the steam would be maximum, and that's why if steam is actually there, it will cause a severe burn. So that's totally correct. Abhijit, Vikram, Gobinath, Vinod, very good. Steam is going to be the correct answer here. Next, diamonds sparkle because of dash. Easy question, but yes, again an important one. And everyone who is there in the session, please like it in the odd numbers 1, 3, 5 and so on. Don't go with the even numbers. If you have not liked the session, please like it. Okay. So my question is, diamonds sparkle because of what? So is it diffraction, interference, total internal reflection, or none of these? What is the correct answer here? So Abhijit is going with C. Akileshwar has already told the answer, so it would be TIR. Gobinath is going with C. Vikram is going with C. Then we have Bhanu Prakash over here, and he is with C. Vinod is also going with C. That is total internal reflection, and that's true. Now let's discuss about it. What is total internal reflection? If I talk about TIR, that is total internal reflection, it occurs when first condition is whenever a ray of light travels from denser medium to rare medium, whenever ray of light travels from denser medium to rare medium, and angle of incidence is greater than critical angle. If both these conditions satisfy, only then TIR will occur. Now what's it? If I talk about a diamond, let us assume there's a light ray which is entering here. When light ray is entering here, outer medium is rare. Why? Because it is air. Inside medium we have a glass, that is, it would be denser. So obviously the condition was when it is traveling from denser to rare. But here light is traveling from rare to denser. This means light can enter it. Once the light has entered it, now what will happen? Here, let's see the condition. This is denser, this is rare. First condition is satisfied. Now what will happen? This diamond is actually cut in such a manner. Hello Chinmay, how are you? So this diamond is cut in such a manner that this particular angle is actually greater than critical angle, and hence light will suffer total internal reflection. And this light gets trapped inside, and because of that, diamond actually sparkles or it shines. What are other applications? So there are several applications of this TIR. The first application is shining of the diamond. Second application is, apart from the shining of diamond, we can talk about mirage, where we have optical illusion of the water. Apart from that, we can talk about optical fiber cables, which is again and again asked in the examination. Optical fiber cables. So these are the important applications of TIR, right? Okay, let's move forward to the next question now. So before moving forward, we have example official application where we have live paid courses, free subject wise, topic wise quiz with the report card, job alerts, examination, admit cards, also the current affairs, weekly, monthly, daily. What do you have to do? Just go to the Play Store, type example over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just do the registration and start using it. So we have next question. Why is red light used in traffic signals? So we have 4 options here. What is the correct answer? Yeah, obviously, I forgot that part. Rainbow as well. True, Akileshwar. So yes, here, what is the correct answer? Why is red light used in traffic signals? What's the reason behind it? Why we are using red light? So Abhijit is going with A. Sir, it has the longest wavelength. Bhanu Prakash is with A. Abhijit is with A. Akileshwar is with A. Okay. Maximum of you are going with A. Chinmay, what is your answer? And then Albertson is left. Vikram is left. Yeah. So Gobinath, Vikram, all of you are correct. If I'll talk about the wavelength, red has the maximum wavelength. Now let's talk about the sequence order. Web-Gyore. When we move from left to right, its wavelength increases. And we denote wavelength by lambda, right? And please remember, if I talk about its part, that is, if I talk about its scattering power, it is just opposite to the wavelength. That is, if I talk about the scattering, so the scattering will be maximum for this violet light. So scattering is maximum for this violet light, and here the wavelength is maximum for this red light, right? So this means red light will be scattering the least. It will scatter the least. So red light is actually visible from far behind. You can have a look at the red light from the long distance as well. Okay, so I guess this point is clear. Please remember this part, it is the important one. So red light is actually having the longest wavelength, right? That's true, Abhijit. Red light is with the maximum wavelength and it will scatter the least. And it's also the reason. If I'll talk about the sun now, sun during the daytime, and during the evening time, at both these times, sun looks like as if it is orange in color or red in color. The same reason is behind it. The same reason is here again. Okay, so let's move forward now. Density of water is 1 gram per cc. We know that. But it is strictly valid at what temperature? We have just discussed about this question 5 minutes before. So can you answer this part? My question is, if I'm talking about this part, that is density of the water, we know that it's 1 gram per cc, no doubt about that. But it is strictly valid at what temperature? Is it 0 degree centigrade, 4 degree centigrade, 25 or 100 degree centigrade? Remember that graph? Gopinath is with B, Abhijit is with B, Vikram is with B, very good. Then Chinmay, Bhanu Prakash, Vinod, everyone is going with B, Akleshwar? Yes. So Vinod, Akleshwar, Bhanu Prakash, Abhijit, Vikram, everyone is absolutely correct. When we talk about this graph for water, at 4 degrees centigrade, we have maximum density, right? So yes, you're totally correct. 4 degrees centigrade is going to be the correct answer, right? So next we have, in Lumbricus terrestris, the genus name is dash. Now this is asked in the examination. One is genus and one is species. So you must be aware of which part is genus, which part is species. So we have a question. In Lumbricus terrestris, the genus name is dash. Actually, we're talking about earthworms over here. Those who are from Hindi medium, you can discuss about Kenchua. That looks like a snake, right? So yes, what is the genus name? So Gopinath is with A, Akleshwar is with A, Bhanu Prakash is with A, that is Lumbricus. Vinod is left with the for the answer. Vinod, Abhijit. Vinod is with S. Sorry, Vinod. What says? I guess it's typing error. Chinmay is going with A. Okay. Abhijit is also with A. Vinod is also with A. Very good. If I talk about this name, Lumbricus terrestris, please remember, whenever this is asked in the examination, we have a trick over here. The subject we are studying here is what? The subject which we are studying here is GS, that is General Studies, General Science, right? If I talk about GS, so the same logic is applicable here. GS. Now this is the trick which will always help you out. Please remember, GS, always whenever name is written, it is in the form of GS, where G will stand for genus and S stands for species. So the first one which, whenever, for example, if I talk about Felis catus, so Felis was what? Felis was genus and catus was what? Catus was representing species. So yes, terrestris is the species and Lumbricus is the genus, and the name was asked about the genus name. Okay, so option number A was correct over here. Okay, so this trick would be very, very beneficial. Next question, please. Dash are the smallest living cells. What are they? Smallest living cells. Is it amoeba, paramecium, mycoplasma or fungi? Which is the smallest living cell? Now I will be having 6 questions over here. 6 questions from the same question. 360-degree postmortem again. But first this answer. Which is the smallest living cell? Answer. Now from the same question we are coming up with the 5 more questions, that is total 6 questions will come. All those are important. So Abhijit is the first one to give answer C. Gopinath is with C. Abhijit is saying some mycoplasma. True. Bhanu Prakash is with C. Vinod is with C. Vikram is with Vikram. I guess you have done the typing error. Okay. So Akleshwar is also with C. You all are going with C. That's totally correct. Mycoplasma is actually the smallest living cell. Now, my question will be, since you're talking about the smallest living cell, that is mycoplasma. True. What about that particular cell which is present in human body? So can you tell me the smallest cell present in the human body? Answer please. All these questions are repeatedly asked, so we will be having 5 more questions. One is smallest living cell, that is mycoplasma. Totally correct. Which is the smallest cell in our body? What is that? If you don't know, you can just directly tell. So I have no idea. but only after discussing those 5 questions I'll be going off. So yes, in here, no. Please let me tell you that is going to be a sperm cell, right? Okay. Next question is, which is the longest cell? Which is the longest cell? Which one is the longest cell? Please remember, when we are talking about the longest cell, okay, this time I'm telling you, I'll be asking the same question in the CGL session. Let's see who can remember this part. Stapes that you are talking about, na, stapes is actually the smallest bone. That's not the smallest cell. We are talking about cells over here. Smallest bone is stapes, no doubt. That is the ear bone. The smallest cell in our body would be sperm cell. If I'll talk about the whole universe, that is, we have mycoplasma there. It is actually a bacterium. And here we already have the answer, Akileshwar and Gobinath. True. If I'll talk about neurons or nerve cells, neurons, sorry, spelling error. If I'll talk about neurons or nerve cells, these are the longest cell. Now, which is the largest cell? Largest cell. Largest cell is actually your ostrich egg. What's it? Ostrich egg. Now, someone asks us, which one will be the largest cell in our body? So, the largest cell in the human body will be what? The largest cell in the human body will be egg cell, or we can talk about ovum over there. What's that? Ovum. These are the questions which creates confusion in the examination. Once it is asked, the smallest cell in the human body, and it would be given with the mycoplasma and all. Please remember, for the human body, that would be sperm. For the other categories, apart from this human body, you can talk about mycoplasma. Longest one, obviously, it is also there in the body, that is nerve cell. And it never divides. If I talk about the largest cell, that is ostrich egg. And for the human body, it is egg cell. So that's true. Abhijit, Vikram, everyone. So okay, bye-bye everyone. Please take care and please remember, now our CGL session, which we take between 6 to 7, from today it will be taken between 4 to 5. So I'll be waiting for you all for the CGL previous year questions between 4 to 5. Please join live at 4, and everyone who's there in this session, please like it and do not forget to subscribe our channel. So bye-bye everyone. Take care. I'll be meeting you at 4 for the CGL previous year question.